The largest ever study of Viking DNA has yielded some interesting and surprising results. The paper, called Population Genomics of the Viking World by Eskil Willerslev and colleagues, features in the journal Nature and reveals that not all Viking DNA is from Scandinavia. Before I go into specifics, the central finding appears to be that Vikings absorbed as much DNA or more than they left behind, but the science of Viking genetics is complicated. My own DNA shows 9% from Scandinavia, but on the basis of the same test, this has fluctuated and shown different modern-day countries as the origin for my Nordic DNA. My family is from the area around Stamford in Lincolnshire, which was one of the 5 boroughs of the Danelaw, territory in England ceded to the Norsemen by the Anglo-Saxons, so the presence of Scandinavian DNA is not surprising. But the complicated thing, and potentially why my own sample keeps changing, is that the DNA of the Anglo-Saxons and the Danes or Vikings is virtually identical because they originated from the same place and were simply different waves of invasion and conquest of what is now England. However, the findings of the new study muddy the waters even further and show not only the genetic imprint of the Norse but their cultural legacy also. The paper's abstract read, "The maritime expansion of Scandinavian populations during the Viking Age, about AD 750 to 1050, was a far-flung transformation in world history. Here we sequenced the genomes of 442 humans from archaeological sites across Europe and Greenland to understand the global influence of this expansion. We find the Viking period involved gene flow into Scandinavia from the south and east. We observe genetic structure within Scandinavia, with diversity hotspots in the south and restricted gene flow within Scandinavia. We find evidence for a major influx of Danish ancestry into England, a Swedish influx into the Baltic, and Norwegian influx into Ireland, Iceland and Greenland. Additionally, we see substantial ancestry from elsewhere in Europe entering Scandinavia during the Viking Age. Our ancient DNA analysis also revealed that a Viking expedition included close family members. The new study also reveals that generally Vikings were a lot more genetically diverse than the peasant societies on the Scandinavian mainland. The Vikings lived in coastal areas and, genetically speaking, they were an entirely different people to the peasant societies living further inland, said co-author Ashot Margarian. Also, commenting on the culture the Vikings exported, Eskil Willerslev said, "In Scotland there's a grave which in archaeological terms would be classified as a Viking grave. Its swords and symbols reflect the Viking culture. However, genetically speaking, the man in the grave has nothing in common with the Vikings. He is an example of how the Viking culture was embraced in certain places." The article also noted, within the British Isles it's difficult to assess how much of the Danish-like ancestry is due to pre-existing Anglo-Saxon ancestry, but the Viking Age contribution does not exceed 6% in England. The genetic effects are stronger in the other direction. So, who conquered who? It is well known that the Vikings assimilated and intermarried with locals when they settled. The Normans are a prime example of that. But the findings of this research highlight just how much interchange there was between the Vikings and the peoples of the areas they raided. So what do you think of the results? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.